Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about something that everybody that follows astrology wants to know about: Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, wealth, opportunities, and it also deals with optimism and spirituality. It is the planet that gives us the good things in life. It produces wealth and it expands everything it's next to. I'm actually working on a new book that I'm talking only about Jupiter. So I thought I might share some of the things I've discovered about Jupiter and why it's so auspicious, and also go through some of the sign placements of Jupiter wherever your natal Jupiter is in your chart. Is monumental as to where your success is, where your success, your wealth potential, opportunities come from, whatever house and even sign that your Jupiter's in your birth chart. So we'll get to that in just a second. Before I do so, I want to remind everyone to sign up for my free newsletter. Go to galacticcenter.org. While you're there, check out my Patreon group. You can become part of our spiritual community that meets weekly live. And also, don't forget my Galactic Planner. My Galactic Planner will tell you where Jupiter is transiting in your chart and where your opportunities are every day. And it's an app now, so you can ask my planner any question you want about your chart and get an answer. Go to galacticplanner.com. Don't miss it. It's amazing. And so now I want to get going. Oh, before I do, if this is something you want to do for yourself, learn astrology, I have the most stellar online university going in the world. Literally. Go to universityofvedicastrology.com. Now let's get going and talk about what I've discovered about Jupiter. Jupiter is the great benefic, and it of course is the biggest planet in our solar system. So everything about Jupiter is big, and we like big. We like big houses. Well, I'm in Texas, so we like things to be big. Our homes, our bank accounts, all of that. That's what Jupiter provides. So Jupiter in Vedic astrology rules both Sagittarius and Pisces. But when you think about Sagittarius, Sagittarius is the 9th sign. And Jupiter is also the Karaka of the 9th house. Karaka means indicator of. And the number 9 is the most spiritual. And the 9th house is called the house of Bhagi-bhava, which is the house of luck and fortune. So you see, the 9th house and Jupiter are relative. And Pisces is also one of the most spiritual signs. Sagittarius is about truth, spirituality, the law, whereas the 12th house in the 12th sign Pisces is about the spirituality of endings and merging with the collective unconscious, the oneness. This is the power of Jupiter. It is the spiritual philosopher. It is the planet that deals with philosophy, spirituality. So, did you know that Jupiter in Vedic astrology is known to be the only planet that will cast a trinal aspect, which is 120 degrees. A trine in astrology is the most auspicious aspect. It's the aspect that deals with harmonious. It's the most harmonious. It gives ease, comfort, opportunities. That's the keywords for a trine, 120 degrees. In Vedic astrology, we call it a 5-9 aspect, because wherever Jupiter is, you simply count 5 or 9 placements away from where it is. And there you go again with the number 9. And trine, luck, fortune, and expansion. And actually, when you look at, when I teach all my students about Bhavam, which means house to house, if you go from the 5th house to the 9th house, which is 5 placements away, but you count 9 from 9, you arrive back at the 5th. You keep getting this 5-9 ratio with the planet Jupiter, which those are the 2 houses of luck and fortune. Another thing about the 9 of Jupiter. There is such a thing in Vedic astrology called divisional charts, and they represent deeper aspects of certain areas of our life. And there's a divisional chart called the D9. It's actually called the Navamsha, and Nav means 9. So Navamsha is 9 divisions, and it is the chart that reflects who we are becoming. It's called the fruit of the tree. That's what Navamsha is. So it means, will the potential of a chart come to fruition? That's what the D9 tells us. And it's affiliated with the energy and vibration of Jupiter. One more thing, if you have planets that are in an exact trine in your birth chart, they will be conjunct in the Navamsha. So you keep getting all these ratios of the luck, fortune, why it is what it is. But now let me tell you about your Jupiter. Everyone has Jupiter in their chart. And let me just say, whatever house it is in will be the house that is the most, gives you the most opportunities. It will be a focus throughout your life. Jupiter expands things, and it is where you have great gifts. So if you have Jupiter in your 1st house, then you are optimistic, you're jovial, you're happy most of the time. You have this attitude that something good's always going to happen. And because of that attitude, things that are good do happen to you. You attract good fortune and luck with Jupiter in your 1st house. The only drawback of that is Jupiter is very large, and you got to watch your diet. That's what I'll say, the only problem with Jupiter in the 1st. But it is like this optimism that is contagious, and people want to be around you. It's a beautiful place to have Jupiter. It represents you are that energy of Jupiter. If you have Jupiter in your 2nd house, now this is generally true, but you know, there's other deterrents that in a chart, but let me just give you the general gist of it all. What is important to you is money. The 2nd house is money, and you have the aptitude and ability to earn great sums of money with Jupiter in the 2nd house. And usually that money can be coming from opportunities that your family have given you, because the 2nd house is family. And generally, if it's unafflicted, your childhood experiences were very empowering, and that is why you have the ability to create great wealth in your life. And it may be because your family gave you opportunities. Another thing with Jupiter in your 2nd house, you have a strong voice. People listen. You could be a speaker, and you have power through your voice. If you have Jupiter in the 3rd house, then you are a communicator, and that is a major focus in your life. The 3rd house also deals with talent. You have great talent. You can be very artistic. The 3rd house rules the hands, so you might be artistic with your hands. You may paint. You may write, because it deals with communications and creativity. And it is actually the house that can deal with entertainers and performers too. You love to entertain, you love to perform. And with that, you are such a great communicator. Now, generally with Jupiter here, you could have good relationships with brothers or sisters, depending if there's no other affliction. And you have a love of learning and a love of traveling. This will be part of your life with Jupiter in the 3rd house. So if you have Jupiter in your 4th house, your focus will be around security measures. Security is what you're seeking throughout your life. But you'll probably have a beautiful and very large home at some time in your life. And generally, you can be close to your mother. But your search for security can lead you into all sorts of powerful business ventures. But one, I might say, could be in real estate. Jupiter in the 4th, you have opportunities for higher education as well, but it is a beautiful placement, especially for security and happiness. Did you know the 4th house is the house of happiness? And I think that is acquired through having a sense of security. Now, if you have Jupiter in the 5th house, you're incredibly bright and amazingly creative. The 5th house can deal with the mind and intelligence, which tells me you have a strong intellectual mind. And people will come to you for advice. You are an advisor to other people. The 5th house can also be the house of writing books. So you might be an author or writer, something to do with your creative skills along this line. Now, the 5th house is known to be the house of children. And generally, I would say you probably have great children. But I have found that when you put the karaka for something, Jupiter is the karaka for children, in the house that rules that, sometimes it's overkill. Sometimes people, believe it or not, with Jupiter in the 5th house don't have kids. It's kind of weird, and that's why. But when they do have kids, they're bright, they're brilliant, and they're powerful. Let's say you have Jupiter in your 6th house. Now, generally that could give you good health, but it also can depend on many, many other things. Jupiter in the 6th house would make you very interested in health, diet, nutrition, any of the healing arts you will be drawn to and have a great aptitude for. And this can even be in the service industry as well, whether you're in restaurants or taking care of people in any way, and usually that is like doctors or nurses, but it could even be something like a flight attendant, somebody who is in a service for others. And don't forget the 6th house deals with pets. So this can mean someone who loves pets, can even have a business dealing with animals to a certain degree. And with Jupiter in the 6th house, you get along with people so well. In the workplace, you have a lot of friends and connections. And if you own your own business, you have great employees. If you have Jupiter in the 7th house, your focus is around relationships, partnerships. Doesn't have to just be marriage, but normally it is. It can be business partners. You attract powerful and good business partners in your life that will lead you to great expansion and success. Now, sometimes when Jupiter's in the 7th house, you can have many relationships. Not always, but sometimes it can allude to that, because remember, Jupiter's big. Or you could have a very powerful partner that you're married to. If you have Jupiter in the 8th house, you are a profound, deep thinker. You love things like psychology. You love things like metaphysics. You are extremely intuitive and psychic and aware. And with Jupiter here in your 8th house, this means money through other people. Money will come to you through either your spouse or through inheritance and or maybe big settlements of certain kinds, but big, large sums of money, usually through inheritance, are yours. If you have Jupiter in your 9th house, you have a spiritual quest. You're always searching for the truth. You might even have an interest in the legal profession. You want truth, you want law and order and justice. You love learning, you love higher education, school, college, all of that you've always excelled in. And you usually have very powerful, good teachers and a good connection to them. It can even mean a strong father. But sometimes with Jupiter there, it can be a little bit over the top kind of father, but a strong father. And you have a love of travel, long distance travel, going many places, and probably even spiritual places for pilgrimages, things like that where you want to learn more about the world and your heritage and spirituality. If you have Jupiter in your 10th house, then career is your most important focus and your success at it. You have opportunities that come your way without you even searching for them. You're lucky in career, but most of all, the 10th house is also our sense of purpose, meaning in life. And that is what you're always seeking, and that is what you will find. So even if you work for a company or a business, your boss will love you. You always seem to attract a boss that you have a camaraderie with. Just amazing. And or with Jupiter there, you'll probably end up owning your own business. But your reputation is stellar. If you have Jupiter in your 11th house, then you have many friends, so many associates. But most of all, these people will be of influence and can help you. Your friends, your connections help you. If you have an older sibling, then this can mean you're connected to them in some way. Maybe you work with them, but there's some power there. But the 11th house is also the house of great gains. And this can mean you're able to bring in large sums of money all at once in one big plop. That's the 11th house. So, great place to have Jupiter. If your Jupiter is in the 12th house, you're incredibly spiritual. You are constantly searching for meaning and a deeper essence. You're very psychic, you're very aware. You have deep prophetic dreams. You're connected to the other side while you're existing here on this side, and that is probably why you are so spiritual, because you know and have a sense what lies beyond this world. Jupiter in the 12th house, people are so generous and giving and forgiving. You let things go, and this is the way to be. Very spiritually inclined. Now, the 12th house also deals with foreign lands and countries. You have an affinity to foreigners, and you love foreign travel. And Jupiter here could even make you very connected to the oceans and the waters. You feel connected to that. And believe it or not, you can even have something to do with films, but your imagination and creativity are very unusual. They're beyond this world. And Jupiter here in the 12th house can deal with people of generosity that give to charities and foundations that help others. And it is a house of health and healing. This will be an interest of yours throughout your life. All right, I've covered Jupiter through all 12 houses, and I know that part of what I said will unbelievably connect to you. And make it your focus, because Jupiter is a huge focus. It's the biggest planet in our solar system. I have so much more to share with you about Jupiter. And that is why I'm working on a book about Jupiter. And I've gone through the degrees that Jupiter stations within a year. 2 degrees, stationary retrograde, stationary direct. Just remember this. I got one more thing to tell you about what this book's about, so I hope you're still here. If you're not, you lost out totally. Some people just listen to their sign and forget it, but they're going to miss out big time. And that is Jupiter station. It's stationed this year on March 10th at 20 degrees of Gemini. And when it stations, it stays on that degree marking for 2 to 3 weeks. It is powerful. And here is what I found with Jupiter. This is what I don't want you to miss. Jupiter's trinal aspect to planets when it is transiting is the most important. You might think it's a conjunction or the opposition. No, it is the trine. So if you have a planet that is 20 degrees of the other air signs, which is Aquarius, and let's see, it's Gemini is where its conjunction is, and then the other air sign is Libra. So if you have a planet 20 Libra or 20 Aquarius, then the rest of this year you're going to be really lucky and fortunate. And if you have a planet where Jupiter is going to turn retrograde again, it's going to be at 2 degrees of Leo. This will be December 12th, 2026. And for 6 months following that, if you have any planet that Jupiter is casting a trine to, which will be, now the conjunction is to Leo, but I'm telling you the trine is more powerful. And that will be 2 degrees of Aries. Of course, I'm talking Leo, and 2 degrees of Sagittarius. So actually the trinal aspect is 2 Aries and 2 Sagittarius. If you have a planet, those degrees, then for 6 months, you will be fortunate and lucky. And it actually depends on what house your natal planet sits in. And another thing is, I went through a whole dissertation and talk, I hope you listen, to Jupiter in Cancer. Whatever house Jupiter is transiting in from June 1st to October 31st is going to blow up in a good way. It's going to be exceptional. So listen to my video on Jupiter as it goes into Cancer, because where Jupiter is transiting in that house is of vital importance for opportunities, wealth, and expansion. But if it's casting a trine to any of your natal planets, the house that that natal planet sits in will blow up in a good way too. Very positive. So these are the opportune times, and that's what Jupiter will predict for you. So go out there with great confidence and optimism that Jupiter is going to bring you luck and fortune, because it will. So with that, I think I'll close. If you would like to learn more about me, go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org. Thank you.